And then
That's it.
say it.
Right to the finish.
And this can be yours for $20,000.
Questions from the judges, please.
So I'm not sure how to ask this, but there doesn't seem to be a contemplation of how good the athlete is and the visibility that they bring to the brand. Where is that reflected in the model?
About how good the athlete is?
Yeah. Because it's cool that that dude can ride a skateboard, but I don't want to sponsor every guy that's on a skateboard. I want to sponsor the ones that are going to bring my brand recognition because they win.
Right, because two things you're looking for is how many people are following him. You know, how many people does he have, you know, access to? So we're going to have a subscribe page or a subscribe button on his page, so you can track that. And then his skill and ability will be directly reflected in the pro points. He gets pro points by uploading, like, hey, I got first place in this competition. Then you generate the pro points that are associated by, you know, doing competitions.
That's what moves him up through the tiers.
Right, that's what moves him up through the tiers, and so he can get noticed. But whenever he...
Including videos, so videos, the more professional they are, obviously the sponsor has the opportunity to look at that and say, you know what, I want to sponsor that person, or I don't want to sponsor that person.
So just to add on to what Ari said, I clearly see the value to the athlete. It's not clear to me the value to the sponsor, because as he's alluding to, I want to be sponsoring athletes that are winning, and the only I think from my perspective, the only thing I need to do to figure that out is just to watch a tournament or two and start to break down names.
Right.
The profile aspect of it maybe is interesting, but at the end of the day, I care about my brand, and I want to be against sponsoring people that are winning. So, like, it's not clear to me. It's basically just not clear to me the value that kind of the sponsor.
Okay.
I think the idea is that you're sponsoring the emerging athlete, not the ones that already exist.
Right.
So the basic marketing campaign is to start marketing this to the students who are in high school and college who aren't necessarily in the realm of the media. And sponsors have the ability to watch them grow, and they have a platform to grow and prove themselves to these sponsors. When you're looking at a phase 2 sponsorship out of the 4, phase 2 is very minimal amount of goods. Once you start getting into 3 and 4, there's an application process to the sponsor who wants to give them between $500+ So they actually have to prove themselves with the application as well.
And then it also lowers the barrier for entry for local shops to sponsor local athletes in their area.
That makes more sense. That makes more sense to me than.
That's really the core of the idea, is to easily find out, you know, who to sponsor in your area, and, you know, major brands already have research, you know, accessible.
Oh, can I add a comment to that? So for bigger brands too, a point that may not be clear is also that if bigger brands want to sponsor, it's more so about the number of people that are carrying that brand. So in our example, there was 630 athletes that were touched by that brand, which are they going to be broadcasting that while they're out skateboarding or whatever.
With micro, small sponsorships.
But also, we're going to be tracking events, performance in the events. That's going to be part of the profile page along with videos, etc.
Go ahead.
I want to go back to what these guys were asking. Would a socially connected athlete who's a middle of the packer come out ahead of a really talented athlete who doesn't really work on his website and his social profile, goes to events and wins it? He doesn't really keep this up to date. Would the guy who's kind of like finishing 10 places behind it, but he's out, he's on Twitter, he's got lots of followers, he markets himself, would he actually come across to the sponsor as a more valuable athlete?
I think that's what the sponsors are looking for, is who is the athlete's ability to promote himself,
as opposed to his ability to win.
Right. He obviously has to have the ability to participate and win. Otherwise,
Our market isn't to the already sponsored elite athletes. Our market is those who are up and coming to become the next elite.
hopefully he's entered in competitions and has won.
Other questions from the judges, please?
So yeah, micro-sponsorship is a great idea. It's okay. I'm going to attack it from a different perspective because I actually agree with everyone who said I still don't see how. So if I'm a huge company like Nike and I'm really busy, I've got my Michael Jordan to manage, I've got my whoever else to manage. I suddenly want to go and look at emerging stars. I've got 5% of my budget that I'm going to go against, put all this. How am I going to immediately know that this is a person? I understand the Pro Points model, but I'm putting my Nike brand behind this person. I'm going to put in, even if it's a pair of shoes, what are you going to do to bring that back to me, and how are you going to scale that to make that, that hockey sticking graph that you have there? Remember, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm really busy.
Well, our entire website is going to be searchable based off of sport.
Okay.
So that would be the first thing that would scale it down. If you're looking at shoes, what type of shoes? Is it running? Is it some other sport? So you would be able to scale it based off of sport. And then the Pro Points is going to be the next step. If you're looking for the person who's in the top tier, you're going to go to phase 4, which ideally you shouldn't. The ones who are not pro athletes or going on the pro athlete track should not hit phase 4 ideally.
And I think more along the lines of your question, how are you going to get return? How are you going to get return out of these micro sponsors? Is I was going to leave that based on the sponsor, like up to the sponsor to decide. Like they could use their product in a promo video. They have to put it on YouTube, get a number of views before they are challenges based on these micro sponsorships before they are eligible for the sponsorship.
You have to keep in mind that every sponsorship has an application process that the sponsor has control over as well.
Was your question more, there's 6,000 athletes, how do I narrow it down to?
That too, yep. That's more.
Based off of a
yeah, 630 is great, but
that you've already given?
Yeah, remember 630 is great, but I want to. I'm Nike. I need to. But I think yeah. Anyway, yeah. I won't take too much more time.
That's fine. Good. Do you want to answer?
It would be basically on the back end, like an easy searchable database of accomplishments based on what the athlete has on their profile.
Other questions, please?
Linda.
Hey, how did you guys come up with the name, and how does it relate to your...
Originally, we were going to focus only on purely cyclists, just as an entry to one market, and then we expanded it to open it up for these micro sponsorships since they are so small.
I think actually, I'm going to correct you.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Ascension.
More of a taking it to the next level was the idea. So when you're in 5th gear, you're going to take it up into 6th gear. I know it's a little bit, it kind of has a dual meaning between racing for cars and bicycles. And then since at the time we're trying to scale it down to something manageable, we're looking at bicycles, so we kind of ran with it. But 6th gear should go for all sports regardless.
Like upshifting your athletic career. Cheesy tagline.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but yesterday when we were discussing, that in essence what you created on the lower levels is a sports affiliate marketing campaign that monetizes dollars, correct? That's how it works, sort of. What one of the judges asked before was, what are the sponsor getting? And so at the higher levels of, from what you guys explained to me yesterday, the higher levels of sponsorship, they're being able to pick the next emerging athlete. But in essence, this isn't a sponsorship emerging athlete company, it's sports affiliate marketing.
Right.
Right?
And in the 5-minute presentation, I just kind of wanted simple.
Can you go into that a little more?
The marketing campaigns. Sports.
Do you mean it's sponsorship on a website, not in real life?
No, it's in real life. They get real good.
Because they not only have the logo
sponsor.
of the sponsor embedded as a link that can link outside of the website onto their personal profile, they also, if they're accepted in that micro sponsorship, they get some sort of tangible good or service that they can use in their sport, review, or do whatever they need to do in order to fulfill the application guidelines.
If the sponsor wants to create a marketing campaign or whatever, get feedback on the prototype of a product, we wanted to let the sponsor create that. Be creative with it, and then we're just purely creating a page for the athlete to showcase his abilities.
And I think that's what I was getting at, was wondering how you were going to transfer. I'm skateboarding in front of 100 people, and my logo is being shown. How are you going to translate that back to me? Because I'm not going to be able to be there to watch the skateboarder do that. And so what, like, are you going to put someone down there?
Doing things like, as a part of your application requirement, you
Sure.
say, when you receive my good and you use it, you must videotape it and send it. We talked about these kinds of things. It's not, our plan is certainly not that detailed because we didn't have enough time to present that to you, but those are things that we talked about could be options in the application process. So if the sponsor wants that, because they're like, I want to know that my brand is getting out there and that you're not just getting free stuff from me, this is a way that you can do it.
We have like a 4-page business plan that all the judges should have gotten.
If you didn't get one,
It kind of,
Did you guys have fun?
yes.
Good question behind the walls.
okay.
I was just actually thinking about this earlier on, a different way you could pitch this. I was involved in amateur sports, and I saw a totally different way of doing this. Nike, Easton, other big companies sponsor small sports teams or amateur athletes all the time. And really what the value I think they're getting out of it is they're really building brand loyalty. So let's say you have a baseball team, and they decide they're going to donate $800 worth of bats. Well, those guys are going to use these bats, love them, and then they're going to keep buying them. So it's a really small investment to get people that are obviously serious about the sport. They're probably going to buy a lot more sports equipment. So you're building that brand loyalty with a lot less. And I don't think that the mindset is really like, I want to pick the next star, because I don't think they're going to get a ton of return on that, because once they become a star, they're going to get other sponsorship offers. I think you could sell maybe more on brand loyalty to the amateur athlete.
Corbin?
So I work in the ski industry, and like a lot of the sponsors and people, they go out to those events, so why would they use you?
The people that aren't necessarily at the events, that don't.
But, I mean, your basis was, okay, you win at a competition, you get to blog about that, you get to say, oh, I got third place. Those sponsors are already at those events.
I think then if you're going to argue it that way, our model is free. You can look through anything at any time and see what you want for free instead of having to fly out, stay someplace, talk to people. So if you're looking at it purely based off of money, there's your value. You can go to our website anytime for free.
But if they're already sponsoring an event, they're already going to have a person there.
Sure, but then they can bring that person can come back to the office and look at it on the website and say, this is a great guy, this is a great guy, it's a centralized place.
And then with the micro sponsorships, you can build brand loyalty.
Last question over here. Would you consider putting an algorithm which at least tries to place the athlete, in the context of his field, and his performance, by something that would tremendously value, Google-style algorithm, which rates a cyclist for cycling, an emerging young athlete in his sport, sorry, into skateboarding, and then at least tells the sponsor that he's betting on someone who's a contender, or he's betting on someone who's under the path of his race, but he's very marketable, or he's betting on someone who's potentially a winner.
I think there's many ways that you can build this design to be effective, and we would be open to any of that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.